Hey, Carl.
Hey, Vinny.
It's our Creepsgiving episode.
Oh, happy Creepsgiving.
But it's not Creepsgiving until it's Space Thanksgiving.
Attention parents, what you're about to see is not suitable for kids. Shoot, it's not even suitable for some grown-ups. You might want to walk away now if you ain't into these type of things.
I'm going to give the people what they want. Sensation, horror, shock.
I'm gonna deliver the goods because I'm alive and I'm not backing down.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
And you should have seen what he did this past Thursday on Thanksgiving.
What'd he do, Gene?
He nailed a turkey from the rear. The turkey with the pecker on it.
Disgusting, vomit-inducing thing.
Hola, creepos. Welcome to your favorite true crime podcast, the show about creeps by creeps for you creeps. I'm your host. My name is Vinny, and joining me in studio, it's hot Carla.
What's happening, Vinny Paulino? Merry Creepsgiving.
Dude, it is my favorite holiday. It is my favorite time of year. It is the holiday that is centered around food, baby.
Yes, it is.
The best holiday. Now, folks, welcome to another edition of the Creep Off. It is Super Chat Monday. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, we will read your Super Chats at the end of the show, so make them count.
Also, WATPlive.com. Tickets are now available for the DabbleCon 2023 here in beautiful, here in lovely, sunny Rochester, New York, February 3rd and 4th. Get all of your information and tickets at WATPlive.com.
I got to tell you, folks are already grabbing those weekend passes.
WATP.
Live.com.
What a read. What a read. So, everybody, welcome to today's edition of the Creep Off. It is a holiday around here. We do Creepsgiving every year, and this year, our creeps will be focused around the holiday that is Thanksgiving.
It's our third annual Creepsgiving special edition episode.
I'm very excited for that.
I love it.
I did screw up here because the results are not loaded in, and I can't seem to figure out where I put them.
All right, I know what they are. We could just talk about it if you want. So,
okay, go ahead.
Last week, I brought Josh Powell.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty creepy.
Yep.
But you brought Mark Zuckerberg, and of course, overwhelming victory for Vinnie Paulino.
For the Winhausen.
What I love about this in particular is that I had a really bad taste in my mouth, but now I'm off to a good start. I had to spin the wheel. You're getting my Patreon money.
Yeah, for as long as you don't win a round, which means we can't start voting for Vinny now all of a sudden, people. What's going on?
True believers. Let's get things looking good for a new year. That's all I'm asking you to do.
All right.
Well, I'm being a whore, Carl.
Yes.
Can I be a whore for a second?
Of course.
So check this out, folks. You know how we just did our awesome zombie shirts? I'm rocking mine today.
Yeah, looking good.
It's laundry day, so this is how that worked.
You know, it's not a wrestling shirt. I had a feeling.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, our holiday shirt is coming out.
Ooh.
One run, never making them again. Here's your chance to get your very own Carl and Vinnie Krampus Christmas shirt.
Yeah, that's actually a fantastic design, I have to say. Very cool
salad.
graphic. Mint salad did that?
Yeah, Mint Salad did it for us. And
Wow,
if
that's
you
cool.
do not speak Carl's native tongue of German, it says greetings from the creep off.
That's right.
Yep. So if you want to grab one of those, they're going to be available at htbkicksass.com later in the week, and we'll post a link once they are officially up and out there. So.
Nice work, Mint. That's a little different for her, that style. That's good.
She did a great job on the roast posters, and I love her style.
Yes.
So I was like, we're going to do a Krampus shirt. I got to call Mint. It'll be fun.
Awesome.
So excited for that. I'm ahead. I'm winning. We're going to be doing a bonus episode right after that, right after this episode today. The link to the Patreon and Super Chat or Supercast is in the description of this video if you're watching us live on YouTube, so you can follow us right over there if you're a patron. We're doing Pedophile Hunter Theater. So
you're up 1-0 on this round, right? That was the first round?
that's us.
Okay.
That's us. So
all right. So Vinny has to get, since we didn't have a Tucker recap today, did we forget Tucker?
I did forget Tucker.
Oh, okay.
I'll play it on the audio episode.
Okay,
You'll hear it.
We'll pop it in post. But yeah, so that means that Vinny's got to get to 5 before I get to 5, and he's up 1-0.
That's correct. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's ring the bell and let's start the competition.
All right, we've already taken 4 of the creepiest Thanksgivingers. So what do we got now, Vinny?
I decided this year, because I'm in such a good mood, even though I shouldn't be, I'm going fun. I'm going fun creep.
I'm glad you're having fun because your heart isn't.
Too soon.
Sorry.
A Minneapolis woman allegedly killed a Thanksgiving guest on Thanksgiving at the table. Anina Maria Hare, 47 years old, was charged in 2017 with the murder of Edward Califf. He was 69 years old. This was her boyfriend, Carl. She invited him over for a nice Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
Things went south pretty quick. All the food
What
comes
did
on
she
the
burn? What did she burn, Vinny?
Carl.
What did she fuck up? She forgot the gravy?
It wasn't her.
Did she forget the gravy, Vinny?
It wasn't her. It's my creep Edward.
Oh, really? Okay. I
So-
thought this is a story as old as time.
Now, Ania is awesome. She's making a great Thanksgiving meal for this guy.
Okay.
He's over there. She sets the table, puts the food on the table. They're going to sit down to eat. And what does Edward Califf do? He starts smoking his crack pipe
Oh, not at Thanksgiving.
at the table.
You do that shit in the garage, and then you come in
Now, obviously,
with the kids.
Anita was not happy about this.
Mm-hmm.
And what upset her, she explained
He
to the
didn't
police.
share?
Correct.
For real?
For real.
What an asshole.
Was number one
Don't
that
bogart that crack, my
did-
friend.
he didn't ask if he had permission to smoke crack at the Thanksgiving dinner table, and then he refused to share his pipe.
I was going to
with
say,
her.
if the problem was not sharing, I don't think he needs to ask permission then, if that's what the concern was.
You are correct.
Okay. I'm really getting sick of these selfish crackheads, Vinny. That's the one thing about all my friends who are potheads. They're very generous. They love to share. They want everyone to partake. These crackheads are like, nope, this is all mine. You get your own crack.
Carl,
Like,
let's go
dude,
back to the first Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Everybody brings a dish to pass.
That's true. That's true. And I believe the Pilgrims introduced the Native Americans to crack cocaine, which is what got them addicted and started the ghettos on the reservations.
I read that, I believe.
Yeah. And by the way, in case anybody has
It was
Google
on
out there,
MSNBC's website.
just remember, let's go along with it.
So this guy's smoking crack in the house.
Yep.
Like he cracked open a bottle of wine, didn't offer anybody a glass, like kind of an asshole.
Sure.
She gets upset. So she rips the antenna off of their television and then grabs a butcher knife and starts chasing Edward around the house. Now,
All right, back up. Who has an antenna on their television?
crackheads, Carl.
What year is
Crackheads,
this? What year is this?
2017. Crackheads.
Okay. An antenna on the television.
She grabbed what was there.
Hey, good news. We get all 4 channels in at this house. Oh, sweet. Okay, cool.
So she starts chasing him around the house, and he's trying to get out. And it's a whole lot of, oh, this new board is going to kill me. I'm choking up a lung. I'm dying over here. And I can't fucking find yakety sax.
All right, let's do this instead then.
He's trying to get out of the fucking house. Can't find a way out. So he grabs her vacuum cleaner and throws it through the window.
Okay.
And decides to try to leave through the window. And she says, I don't fucking think so. And according to her, she put him in a sleeper hold. She jumped on top of him and put him in a sleeper hold and held it until, quote, he started snoring.
Okay.
She
How
then,
does she know the sleeper hold? That's impressive. I wouldn't be able to do that.
You wouldn't know how to put somebody to sleeper hold?
No. And I doubt you could either. I bet however they do it on wrestling is probably pretty fake.
No, I know how to do the real one.
Okay.
The key is tilting your head and so the windpipe closes.
I thought the key was holding up his arm and letting it drop 3 times. And then
There was another crack.
It's a
just going,
DQ.
1, 2. So when the police arrived, because the neighbors did call the police because a vacuum went through the fucking window,
right.
they found Kyle lying down near the broken window. Signs of the apparent struggle, and the man died at the hospital. In an interview with police,
But he was able to get in all the UHF channels. So that's impressive.
he was able to watch the PBS telethon this year.
Yeah.
Hare said she invited Caliph over for Thanksgiving dinner, got angry during the meal because he lit up the crack pipe, but she was upset that he did not offer to share. Now, she told police that he yelled for help, broke out the window with the vacuum cleaner, grabbed him, fell on top of him. He continued to struggle, and she just, quote, put his ass to sleep. That was her statement to the cops.
Yeah.
I put his ass to sleep.
Well done.
Well, the autopsy, this is my favorite part of this. The autopsy said the cause of death, homicidal violence.
Okay.
Yeah. She was found guilty. She pled guilty of first-degree manslaughter. That's it. Because apparently it's so rude to not share your crack at Thanksgiving.
I don't think that's
that
why.
even the justice system,
No, I don't think that's why, Vinny.
even the justice system isn't even mad about
You're
it.
being silly now.
No.
That's just silly talk.
Hare served about 3 years of her prison term and spent the rest on supervised release. My creep, Joseph Caliph, for not sharing his crack pipe.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, there's a twist at the end there.
And
see.
can I also say
I
this?
see what you did.
I don't like his family. They were
Yep.
trying to make him sound like he was a saint, and they said this about him. This is a quote. He wasn't perfect, but he always made us laugh.
Well, yeah. This silly crackhead uncle. Where's Uncle Cracky? He's the best. Well, he won't be with us anymore.
Yeah, I mean, horrible, horrible manners. What a creep, Carl. Try to
Yes.
beat that.
All right, let's see what I can do. I am going to go with a band named Brent Springford Jr. Now, I'm going to give credit to a guy named Bama Mike on YouTube and the Oxygen Network for the information that I have obtained today. On Friday, November 26, 2004, Brent and Charlotte Springford were found brutally slain in their mansion in the wealthy garden district of Montgomery, Alabama. What happened was the Friday after Thanksgiving, construction workers were at their home because rich people always have projects going on. They don't give a 4-day weekend ever.
Right.
So the construction workers are all there. They have the key codes. They can get into the house.
Yep.
They walk in, and it looks like the place has been robbed. Everything's torn apart downstairs. There's just papers everywhere. Boxes are torn apart. So they're like, oh, what the hell happened here? So they start to walk upstairs, and that's when they see the trail of blood. Turn around, get the fuck out of there, call 911. This is one of the detectives who showed up, a homicide detective who showed up for this crime scene. This is what he was told.
According to Tracy's friends, she and her ex-husband got along very well and spoke almost daily.
That's not the fucking clip, Vinny. That's not the clip at all. It's this. It's this one right here.
Way to go, Carl.
Wait, that's not the clip either.
You're disqualified. One more strike.
Hold on. Where am I?
I'm just waiting for the story to get interesting. What happened? Oh, there it is.
All right, let's find out what this is.
According to Tracy's friends, she and her ex-husband.
That's not right. Okay. Anyway, the detective was told that this was a really a gruesome crime scene. So they're trying to figure out who would do such a thing because the mother and father went to the daughter's house, who lives about an hour away in Alabama, for lunch on Thanksgiving Day. They come back later that day, they're found dead the next morning, and they don't know who did it. They have an alarm system, obviously, but somebody had broken in on the upstairs window where there was no detection for the alarm system. So someone had to know that in order to get into the house without the alarm system going off. All right. So people start suspecting this guy, Brent Springford Jr. Now, Brent is the son of these two,
Okay.
Brent and Charlotte Springford. And he's a 24-year-old guy. He actually moved out to Colorado. He's in Boulder, Colorado. These are very rich people.
Okay.
So they have their own jet and stuff. So for a long time, he's just trying to find himself. He's traveling the world. He's doing different things. And he finally decided to settle down in Colorado. And his parents gave him a pretty sweet deal for that.
They bought him a house in Boulder. They paid for Brent to live a very lavish lifestyle up there. So they bought him 2 brand new cars. They paid 100% of all his credit card balances, and they gave him an additional monthly allowance of nearly $1,000.
Pretty sweet deal, huh?
Who's reading that? A South Park character?
That would be Bama Mike, who's reading that from his YouTube channel.
That checks out.
All right, so let's hear more about from Bama Mike here. So apparently Brent started getting a little bit weird. And they discovered this when they had Brent over to the house. Now, remember, they're in Alabama. He has to fly in from Colorado. And they have this annual black tie event at the house that the whole family comes to.
By Christmas of that year, the Springford's annual black tie holiday gathering, which took place right here inside of their house, he showed up with a newly, completely bald, shaven head, and he was wearing a monk's robe. He also spoke in a very strange manner. After he left that black tie holiday event, his parents were mortified. They were absolutely mortified. They spent the next several months trying to convince Brent Jr. to seek psychiatric help.
So they're trying to get this guy some help. They realize, okay, he's, a few crayons short.
You want to be a monk now? Why did he show up like that? That's just his...
That hasn't been explained quite yet here, Vinny. No one's really sure what's going on with this guy. So then he decides to stop talking to his parents altogether. He gets married to a woman twice his age. So Carolyn Stout.
He is crazy.
Yes, Carolyn Stout and him get married. She's 48. He's 24. The parents didn't even know about this. And then when they find out about it, at first, they're like, good. She can take care of him. She can figure this shit out. But
maybe she has insurance he could get off of ours.
Right. But they're still wary of him and tell him, okay, your sister's getting married. We don't want you there.
As some more time passed and we come around to October, they told Brent Jr. not to come home for his sister's wedding. Because of his erratic behavior, they couldn't trust him to come in, behave, and act like a normal human being.
What do you mean? I had a brand new Pope outfit I was going to wear.
Yeah, right. Oh, man, what the fuck? So now this is not going over well with our buddy Brent being told he can't go to his sister's wedding, and then it gets worse.
I mean, that completely enraged Brent Jr. and put him in a panic. And then right after that, Brent Sr. and Charlotte would go on to do something that would set events in motion that would ultimately cost them their lives. They cut him off from all their money.
Ruh-roh. He's no longer getting that allowance anymore. The house isn't being paid for.
Don't you feel this seems really harsh because all he did was be upset that he can't go to his sister's wedding?
Right, exactly. What's so wrong about that? He just wants to be part of the
too.
family. Yeah, it's a nice family event. He wants to be there. So what if he's a weirdo?
I would be very upset. I'd be like, you guys think I'm going to this?
Well, there's one thing I know about rich people is that they have to keep up appearances. And so if one of your kids is a nutso, you try to keep them as far away from everyone else as possible.
You call them
I've seen Black Sheep. I know.
You call them unique and you get them a reality show. That's how this works out.
Or you could do that, right? People in Alabama don't think that way, but I hear what you're saying. So as I mentioned, they go to the daughter's house. They're coming back around 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving night, and this is always fun when you walk back into your house and you see your son, who you don't want any part of anymore, sitting at the dining room table.
Several hours later, at about 6 p.m. that evening, Brent Sr. and Charlotte arrived home to find their son, Brent Jr., sitting in their living room, waiting for them with an axe handle right beside him.
Ruh-roh.
Mother, father.
Zoinks! All right, so he decides to beat the shit out of them.
Brent Springford Jr. had beaten them to death with that axe handle. They were making funny noises, gasping for air. So he would go on to slit their throats to the point of nearly decapitating them. so that he didn't have to hear them make those noises anymore.
So he pretty much cuts their heads off. This is a very gruesome scene.
What were the funny noises that were bothering him? They're not.
I might have been a little bit of that, too.
Little fart noises.
Waka waka. So, yeah, so he nearly cut their heads off. This is why these detectives were pretty grossed out when they got to this crime scene. It's pretty fucking brutal. So, what happened was they were going to cut them off. And Carolyn, well, they discovered that this woman that he had married was just in it for the money, this Carolyn Stout woman. So they're actually quite concerned about her.
So, like, she was at the house, and he comes home in his Friar Tuck outfit and goes, I'm cut off. And so she rips off her nun outfit. It's like, I'm out of here. Pretty much?
Pretty much, yes.
What they began to learn is that she was actually taking advantage of the Springfords financially and was not taking care of Brent Springford. And that caused a lot of tension in the relationship. The father was done with her and was really done with his son and had told him that he was going to be cut out of the will. And we believe that is when things started to unravel.
Yeah, don't tell your spoiled brat kid they're cut out of the will. They're going to be pissed off about that. So he finally confesses because he had tried to cover his tracks. He took buses to Alabama to commit the murders. Then he drove his dad's expensive car to a train station to get back. So they eventually figured all of this out.
Well,
and,
no one will figure out who did it if the car is at the train station.
Right.
They threatened to arrest his wife, Carolyn Stout, as an accomplice, and Brent Jr. confessed to brutally killing his parents. He even went on to claim that a demonic spirit named Akasha had ordered him to do it.
I mean, that sounds fair.
Carl,
Yes.
do you know what happens if they say to me, we're going to arrest your wife as an accessory? My response is, accessory, she did it.
Right,
It
no
was her.
shit.
It was her. I wasn't even there. It was her. She had an axe handle. She didn't like the funny noises.
Well, what's so interesting about this is that once he admitted to the murders, his wife, Carolyn, wanted nothing to do with him. She only sent him one piece of correspondence after that. Only one time she even tried to communicate with him. It was a note. It was a letter with one sentence that just said, if you get the death penalty, I'll support you. And what's interesting is this guy, what's his name again? Bama Mike. Bama Mike looked into this woman, Carolyn, and apparently she had an ex-husband who she killed, but she wasn't convicted because she said it was self-defense. Now, he also had come from a wealthy family. So it seems like she might be manipulating these guys, and she would have put him up for it. But either way, she's free, and this poor guy, Brent Springford, all he did was turn his parents into human pet dispensers. He gets life in prison, but it didn't turn out to be that long.
In 2013, Brent Springford Jr. committed suicide, somehow by taking a toxic dose of Tylenol. The state of Alabama hasn't released how he got a hold of the Tylenol that he took, but he took a lethal dose of Tylenol, overdosing on it, and dying.
How many fucking bottles of Tylenol is that?
How is that possible? How can you OD on Tylenol? I'll have to talk to Dr. Steve about that.
I bet you his belly hurt on the way out.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He had
So
a bellyache.
somehow, while he's in prison, he's able to get enough Tylenol to kill himself. So that's the end of that story. But that was some Thanksgiving meal with Brent Springford Jr. murdering his wealthy parents.
Okay, so he murdered a couple of rich people.
Yes.
His wife left him, and she may have been waiting to murder him too. I don't know. Seems like this guy's a victim. My guy's a real creep. Made this poor woman spend 3 years in prison because he wouldn't share his crack.
Oh, we're back to doing this again now, where you make your argument, I make my argument, and then you go on your argument again.
Well, haven't
You
ever
always
seen
you
a-
always get the last word in, don't you?
Haven't you ever been to a court? Everybody gets a closing argument.
Oh, okay.
Apparently,
okay.
except for Vinny.
Oh, okay, all right. I
Vinny
see how
can't
this
have
is.
due process on the creep off.
I see how this is.
All right.
Vinny couldn't even pick which person was the creep.
I did too.
So I'm not sure that he's the person.
All right, dickhead. Are you ready to do some Who Are These Creepos?
Vinny, yes, it's time for...
Who are these
Creepos.
This is a new segment on the Creep Off, and the reason why we do this segment is to prove once and for all that the Creep Off is the best true crime podcast on the internet today. The way that we do that is by being very petty and by analyzing all the other true crime podcasts one at a time to show you, the fine folks who enjoy the Creep Off, the Cuzzaroos, the Vinnie's Creepaholics, whatever your guys are.
True believers.
Whatever that
you
is.
don't. Oh, you're not even acknowledge the true believers.
Whatever that is.
The Creepomaniacs, the Scum Parade, Merry Marchers.
We want to show all of those people they have chosen the right true crime podcast. And today, I am going to review a show called True Crime Garage. Are you familiar with this show, Vinnie Paulino?
You know that I'm not, Carl.
Well, it's a pretty popular one. That's why I ask.
I don't listen to true crime shows.
All right. Well, let's check out how this one starts
Except
off.
for Nancy Grace.
True Crime Garage, I will tell you, is not hosted by one woman. It's not hosted by two women. It's hosted by two men. That's right. Nick and the Captain invite you to grab a chair, grab a beer, and join them as they talk some true crime. This is how things start off, Vinny.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend.
This week we are very excited to be featuring Eternal Autumn, brewed by the great women and men over at Track 7 Brewing Company. This is a West Coast style India Pale Ale featuring HBC 586, Idaho 7, and Mosaic hops.
Who fucking cares?
Is this Opie's new show at Gebhardt's?
Even the guys are doing this. They're pairing true crime with alcohol. With these guys, it's always beer for some reason. So it's like, hey, we're going to talk about true crime, but also check out this beer we got. And he goes on to explain everything about the beer and how great the beer is. Vinny, what is going on here? What is it with the true crime and drinking? Why is that connected?
I cannot figure it out. I
thought it was a lady thing. I thought it was the wine thing.
I was just about to say, I feel like this is a very woman type approach to this.
Yes.
It's like looking at exactly what type of true crime shows are popular and then trying to play off of it, but we're dudes.
I will say this. One thing I'll give them is when the women talk about the wine they're drinking, they go on and on about the label and the colors and all this nonsense. Oh, there's notes of pine, like whatever the fuck they're trying to say about this shit that I don't care about. These guys get right to it. And actually, this guy, Nick, sounds like a professional broadcaster. He sounds like he might have a radio background.
And you are going to want to try this one because here we go, Captain. I'm going to do it. Eternal Autumn, 5 out of 5 bottle caps.
Boom. Get you some.
And in the garage, it's always a great autumn because of all of you out there in listener land. So let's give some thanks and praise.
You out there in listener land. Wow, this is old-timey radio talk going on right here.
Well, all of you folks that are watching us in Streamerton, I hope you're enjoying the show.
Yeah, Middle Streamer Brook. Listener land. All the people at listener land. And then they give some shout-outs.
Streamfield.
And then they have to go, and then they have to go through and they have to do their roll call thing. So they explain, all right, these are the people who are contributing to us or paying our beer fund is what they say, and they call out the people's names.
And this is a true crime show?
This is a true crime show, Vinny. I will give them credit, though. They get into the intro of their show. So after they give the shout-outs, they go into their social media stuff, and then they get right into the intro of the show.
Yeah, BWRUN Beer Run. If you're not following us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, then you're missing out on the true crime conversations. Make sure you follow us there at True Crime Garage. Colonel, that's enough of the business.
All right, everybody gather around, grab a chair, grab a beer. Let's talk some true crime.
I'll give them this. That's 2.5 minutes into the episode. They do get right to it. They don't drag it out like I've heard so many other shows. We're in minute 12, minute 14. They're still talking about wine and the shoes they bought at the mall. Like, shut the fuck up and get to the story already.
Oh, so you mean that the guys got to the point before the women's shows usually do?
Yes.
Check. Okay.
Yeah, so that's something that maybe some of these ladies could take some notes on. By the way, this whole thing where I want to follow them on social media, be part of the conversation about true crime, hard pass.
You don't even want to conversate about true crime with me on this show.
Right. I do this for a living. I don't want to do it. I do it under protest. I'm not going to get on their Instagram account and start messaging them. All right. So then let's get into the fucking good stuff. Let's see what's going on. I want some panty dampening murder porn. Let's go.
Tracy was found having been attacked and beaten to death inside her apartment that she shared with her 18-month-old daughter.
Nice.
Tracy and her ex-husband shared custody of the little girl.
Are you moist yet or what, Vinny? This is what we tune in for on these true crime shows.
Just under the arms.
I believe that.
Carl.
That story checks out.
The guy, the captain, does he talk at all? Because he's only said 2 words in this whole thing.
All right. Brilliant observation, Vinny, because I'm not sure why this guy exists at all. And I will, I'll show you some of the drop-ins that he does.
Okay.
Here's one of the ones that they're telling the story about this Tracy Harkness.
But after the sun goes down, if we are talking about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, it turns to a ghost town rather quickly.
Pretty standard Midwestern town.
Late at night, you're going to get a few people out, really hardly any cars out on the street.
Dynamite drop-in money. That broadcast school has really paid off.
Dude, the captain has 1 line per page on this script that they're reading, and they just let him say something randomly, and it's like, all right, you're part of the show. Good job, buddy.
I can't imagine what he would be like if there wasn't a script.
Oh, dude. This show is bizarre sounding because, as I said, it is very professional, but it's also dry as hell. They just read it very straight.
Yeah, who wants to listen to true crime for people who could hold their alcohol?
Right, what's the point of that? Get wasted, fellas. You got 6.4 ABV in that IPA. Let's go. So, Vinny, I listened to the first part of Tracy Harkness. There are 4 parts to this, totaling 3.5 hours. This is a woman who was killed in her apartment, and that was 30 years ago. They still don't know who did it. And I got to listen to 3.5 hours of this. There's so many details that they get into. It's too much.
Steve told investigators that Lori knocked on the back door of the apartment but got no answer. They went to the back door because that was the door Tracy and pretty much everyone else used. This portion of the apartment complex was built in a U shape around a rear parking lot where the residents had spaces to park their cars. As a result, most residents didn't use their front doors other than to get their mail or the newspaper. Tracy was no exception.
Everyone pretend podcasting isn't boring.
Dude, literally, all they're explaining is the people who found her body couldn't get in the door they normally go in, so they walked around to the front and walked in and found her body. But he has to explain, because of the way this is set up, and, she does get the newspaper. She will go to the door for the newspaper, but only on the weekends. And then they go, it's like, shut the fuck. This is why it's 3.5 hours long. Vinny.
Normally on Thursdays, the neighbor brings out the garbage through the side door.
Right. This is why it's 3.5 hours long. And I guarantee they're making most of this shit up because this happened 30 years ago. And who could possibly care about these details? This is a time filler.
I love how the people go on forever with these cases that even the cops don't care about.
Right. Even the cops, if you were telling them all this information, you'd be like, okay, yeah. And then you found the body? And then what happened then? All right, let's get right to that part of it.
And that is a big part of this because, if you ever watch the way cops, have to sit there and listen to people try to tell them what happened.
Yeah. Well, and then my boyfriend, Frank, we're on and off again. Actually, I'm not with Frank right now. I'm mad at Frank. But I might get back together with him. He's in the doghouse. All right, ma'am, whatever. You and Frank did what? What happened?
Oh, he shot me in the shoulder.
I don't know why I turned into Nancy Grace.
I bleeded everywhere.
All right. So let's get into, so we heard that they start the show off after they talk about their social media and becoming a part of social media and giving them money and all that stuff. So, all right, let's start the show, guys.
The Bowling family wants the killer to be caught for the sake of Tracy's now grown daughter. Tracy's family and the Grove City Police Department are hoping that new technology and DNA testing will lead to an arrest.
Well, hold on a second. The family wants the murderer to be caught for the sake of the daughter who never knew her mom. The daughter was under 2 years old. So now she's 31 years old, and she's worried about this? She's like, I didn't even know that bitch. What the fuck do I care? I didn't grow up with her. You guys are the ones who knew her.
But did I tell you if forever Amber Autumn lager. It's like, who cares? These people suck.
All right, so I want to ask you this, Vinny. Has this ever worked once in the history of trying to solve a cold case?
Tracy's family has something to say to the killer. If you did this, get it off your conscience and go tell. Tracy's family wants this killer brought to justice. If you know who killed Tracy Renee Harkness, call the Grove City Police Department.
Could you imagine you get away with murder? It's been 30 years. They don't know who you are.
No
They're
way.
off your scent, and you're like, you probably feel pretty bad about this, right? Like, no, I can't believe I got away with it. What do you think I'm going to tell on myself? That's insane.
You know what that plea is called? The fucking Hail Mary.
Yes.
Of fucking true crime.
Dude, the show starts with a Hail Mary. It starts with that.
Oh God.
So bad. I bet you feel pretty bad about it, don't you?
I bet you're not real happy with yourself. Maybe you want to get that off your chest.
Listen, in the weeks immediately afterwards, I was paranoid about getting caught. I felt really bad about what I had done. 30 years have gone by.
8 years after that, I met a nice lady,
Yeah.
settled down. I have a family.
Oh, I started sleeping great 2 months later. Are you kidding me? You think I'm worried about it now 30 years later?
Oh, her daughter? She didn't even know her.
Right. And she's doing great. So what's the difference? So you heard what I was just explaining here. They do that little intro thing. They talk about the beer they're drinking. They talk about social media. They get props and roll calls, people who are giving the money. Then we do a little thing. So this is what happens to go into the show.
All right, everybody gather around, grab a chair, grab a beer. Let's talk some true crime.
Okay. So
this true crime is brought to you by Syracuse.
I know it sounded like that. So that's the start of the show, and then they go in and they say, hey, if you know anything about this case, turn yourself in. And then this happens.
This is the still unsolved homicide case of Tracy Harkness, 30 years later. And this is True Crime Garage.
What an interesting choice for music.
Is this Patrick Michael? They're starting again? Just start. What are you doing? How many times are you going to tease you're going to do a podcast? Let's go. I'm listening to a podcast. Start the podcast.
I like how they started off with the plea, and then they were like immediately, the still unsolved murder, because it obviously didn't work.
Yeah. No shit. All right. So the amount of talking that the captain does is interesting to me. I wonder if maybe we should start decreasing your workload a little bit.
Her recent employer said she was friendly and easy to work with, but she spent a lot of time on the phone on personal calls. When she died, she was working at a new job as a secretary. She also had a part-time job a few nights a week helping out at a friend's jewelry business.
So she definitely had a full plate.
Tracy was a longtime member of the Grace Memorial Church.
She had this job, she had this other thing, so she had a full plate.
I've never been accused of having a full plate. But, Carl.
Not before you sit back down again.
I like to think that this guy is just like a war veteran who's a paraplegic in a wheelchair. That's about all they could get out of him.
Dude, I would love if you talked that little. This show would be so much better if you could just learn what get the captain's role going on here. Host Nick and the captain invite you to grab a chair, grab a beer, and join them as he talks some true crime. This is no ordinary garage. It's a rabbit hole of true crime with a generous supply of alcohol and banter to lighten the load. What the fuck does that even mean? Hold on, let me read that again. This is the second sentence of the description of this show. This is no ordinary garage. It's a rabbit hole of true crime with a generous supply of alcohol and banter to lighten the load. I don't think they understand what a rabbit hole is. I don't think they understand what a load is.
Oh, they know what a load is. All right.
The captain's got the banter down. I'll give him that. From international atrocities to heinous stories on home turf, dive headfirst into a different case each week and enjoy a cold one whilst you there. Well, hold on a second. Dive into a different case each week. I told you this one goes on for 4 fucking weeks. Just this one case. Like, wrap it up in 1 week, and I will. That's fine.
Are you saying that these folks don't know what they're talking about in their own description of their show?
If you consider yourself an armchair detective, you're in the right place, and you're amongst friends. For the mystery seeker, True Crime Garage presents an archive of missing persons, unsolved and cold cases, plus accounts of infamous serial killers and chilling solved cases. Ooh, chilling solved cases.
I always am more chilled when I found out who did it and why.
What's the difference between an unsolved and a cold case? Isn't that the same thing? Well, both unsolved and cold cases.
That is correct. Same thing.
I mean, I guess it's the length of time, I guess, that went by. True Crime Garage has just one rule. Don't litter. Remember to not take yourself too seriously, because if you do, nobody else will. What? That came out of fucking nowhere.
I despise this description.
What was the point of that? This description's all over the place.
Why are they trying to be so folksy and quaint when they're discussing grisly murder?
I don't know. You don't need words like amongst friends. It's just, no one talks like that.
And what was the line? And have a beer with us.
Yeah. Grab a chair, grab a beer, and join them as they talk some true crime. Is there something about a cold one or something? I don't know.
Yeah. Whilst you're there, grab yourself a cold one whilst you're there.
Well, I mean, why not just be honest with you? This podcast isn't great. You might want to get drunk first. You might enjoy it better. Like, we've said this many times in the Isotopes. The drunker you get, the better we sound. I think that's what these guys are trying to say. Is like, yeah, you might want to crack open a six-pack and then turn this on.
Yeah. I feel like this is like my grandfather trying to explain anything serious to me when I was a kid. He'd sit down and be like, all right, we're going to explain this.
Yeah.
Cracks the beer. We'll get through this together.
Now, this is what calories do to your body, Vincent. And you're like, I don't want to hear about this. I'm not listening. La, la, la,
Is
la,
it dinner time?
All right, here's the last clip that I have. This is just some editorializing from the captain that I personally found unnecessary, but I'll let you decide. I'll let you judge for yourself here, Vinny.
According to Tracy's friends, she and her ex-husband got along very well and spoke almost daily. This because they shared custody of little Megan.
Well, in a perfect world, all people that shared kids together would have a healthy relationship for their kids.
No shit, Sherlock! No shit!
You don't say.
Thanks, Captain.
Thanks, Captain. You know, in a perfect world, if you have joint custody, you get along with each other. Yeah, in a perfect world. Thanks, Captain.
In a perfect world, most people would have pulled out.
Yeah, correct. All right, Vinny, that's what I have for us. True Crime Garage, which is a very big show. It's so dry and so boring. These guys do not have any personality whatsoever. It sounds like an AM radio host from yesteryear.
You know what
talking to Listenerland.
I find insufferable these shows where they're these bores. Like, we're having a beer, so we're cool and hip. Boring people drink beer too.
Yes, a lot of them. And I apologize for being so boring.
All right.
I won't apologize for my beer drinking.
Guess what time it is?
What time is it, buddy?
It's time for some voicemails.
Let's go.
Creep Off Voicemail segment is brought to you by the City of Syracuse. The SU basketball team just lost to Colgate University. The opponent was able to exploit Syracuse's main weakness, fear of dental hygiene. See you in Syracuse.
I'm not going to lie. I saw that one coming. Not going to lie.
All right.
Could have used some cavity creeps or something too, but wouldn't have been better.
Here's our first voicemail from our pal DP.
Hey guys, it's DP. A consequence idea is a bonus episode, but it's got to be 60 minutes long. All the Patreons get to submit one idea per Patreon subscription. The winner picks their favorite 5. Everybody votes on it, and the loser has to do a 1-hour bonus episode based on the most popular idea. Anyhow, hopefully that'll get you a couple extra bucks. It'll get me 60 minutes of entertainment. Thank you, fuck you, bye.
Okay, so what I might suggest we could do there is maybe add that type of voting system to the...
yeah, we already have you have to produce a podcast
podcast
series.
stream, but maybe we let the listeners pick the...
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
That sounds good.
This is a wonderful compliment, I feel.
Okay.
Vinny, you and Carl are like the most fucked up Laurel and Hardy of podcasting. And I love every fucked up second of it. Thanks, guys.
Oh, you're welcome. He called back, though, just to make sure.
That is a deep pull right there. Holy shit.
Hey, Vinny, it's Animal again. Just to be clear, you're the fat one in Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
So you're the funny one, at least.
correct. Oliver Hardy was his name. All right, got another one here.
You know, boys, not for nothing, but I'm just saying that who are these creepos drop that you do for the beginning? Could use a little bit more production, you know? Something like a, who are these creepos? WATC. Who raped this child? That would be on me. You know, something like that. Just, come on, man. Put in just a little bit more effort, and I think the show would be a lot better. You know? Thank you, fuck you, bye.
Dude, you know how long I spent editing this together?
Creepos.
About as long as that took to play.
Can I also just add, this show would be fantastic if Carl and I put in just a little bit more effort.
It wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah.
It would be the most fantastic show on the internet.
Yeah, if I didn't wake up Mondays at 12:30 going, oh shit, I had to put together something for the creep off today, might be good.
All right. So you got any voicemails, Carl?
I don't.
Okay. Well, moving on to a Scum parade. Let's hit the music.
Scum parade, take me on a raid of these fuck charades that these creeps have made. Scum parade, Vinnie and Carl gonna tell you about some fuck shit. Scum parade, like stories of a kid fucked by his mom or dad, soaking up the blood of a cat. Scum parade.
A 22-year-old Manassas Park man has been jailed without bond after police say he cooked himself stolen food at a Pizza Hut while threatening employees with a knife.
He brought a knife into a kitchen. That's really dumb. Hey, watch out, I got a can opener in here as well. Watch out, everybody. It's like, yeah, no, we already have those things,
Do you
sir.
think one of those $15 an hour minimum wage people is going to pull another knife off of the metal thing on the wall
No,
and
one
start
of
fighting him?
One of those pizza cutters, those spinning knives, like, huh?
You get out of here, you! Holy shit. This happened around 11 p.m. Saturday, November 12th. The suspect walked into the store past the service counter towards the kitchen area. While in the kitchen, he retrieved food items from the freezer and began cooking them before lifting up his shirt and revealing a knife to an employee.
Yeah, you think you're going to stop me from eating these mott sticks? Think again, asshole.
He's just fucking tossing them in the basket of the fryer.
Yep.
Now, the police said he then took the food and left the business. So he just came in and did his own takeout order. I don't see the problem.
Yeah, right, exactly.
An employee attempted to confront him in the parking lot, and the suspect brandished the knife.
You going to share those mott sticks? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Not sharing my mott sticks.
A police canine and helicopter assistant from Fairfax County Police searched the area for the suspect that night.
A helicopter, Vinny? For a guy who cooked his own food at Pizza Hut? That seems like overkill to me.
So it is overkill, and here's why.
I'm just picturing Henry Hill trying to eat the mott sticks as fast as possible, burning his tongue. Oh, shit!
Fucking Rolling Stones are playing. I'm a monkey, man! A police canine helicopter assistant is out there looking for him, but they couldn't find him.
Right.
Turns out one of the employees knew the guy. So they're fucking flying a chopper around.
The guy knew his name and where he lived.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that's David. He lives over there.
Yeah.
At that apartment complex. He was arrested the next day. He's being held without bond and on a robbery charge.
Can I offer a suggestion? If you're going to do this, pick a restaurant where your buddy doesn't work. Try not to have any friends who can identify you very easily. Also, pick a restaurant other than Pizza Hut. You couldn't go into a Taco Bell and make yourself some tacos? Come on.
That's just Knifey David.
Knifey David loves mott sticks.
Jesus Christ. Memphis, Tennessee, Carl.
Yep.
This story's great. I'm really thankful. You and I really did a couple of smart things in life.
Oh.
Past the show.
Interesting.
We're both married with no kids.
Well, that's true.
We don't deal with dating.
Yeah.
We both marry great women.
Right.
We couldn't
My
have done this
girlfriend's
better.
hot too, yeah.
Yeah, your girlfriend's a real whore. A Memphis woman says she met a man on Tinder.
Okay.
And it didn't go well.
No?
Because he carjacked her at gunpoint. The incident happened nearly a year ago. Elijah
Are we still
Darius
gonna fuck,
Scott,
or are you mad at me now? I thought girls liked bad boys.
I swiped right. Get the fuck out of the car, bitch.
Yeah.
Darius Scott was booked in Shelby County Jail Tuesday on a charge of carjacking and aggravated robbery and employment of a firearm during a dangerous felony. The victim told police she met him on Tinder. They agreed to meet. She said when she got there, Scott got into the passenger seat of her car, put a gun to her side, demanded her phone and money, and threatened to shoot her. The victim told police she panicked, jumped out of the car, and that's when Scott drove off in her 2007 Kia Rondo.
Oh, my God. Dude.
Listen, man, if you pulled a gun on me and told me to take a Kia Rondo,
right,
I would put up more of a fight
panic.
than this woman did.
Well, she also left behind an iPhone and $50. I mean, you'd be better off robbing Chad Zumock with the fucking bounty this guy is getting.
Yeah, I mean, there wouldn't be the $50, but he probably would have some lady's purse.
Those credit cards.
The victim reported the crime. I'm sorry, I just got sorry here. The victim reported the crime. Police department said about 5 hours later, Scott sent her a text message.
Oh, boy.
Offering to sell her the car back.
All right, so committing crimes via text to the victim. This might be the dumbest thing, and we've been doing this show for a while now. This might be the dumbest crime ever.
Technically, it's targeted marketing because he did know she needed a car.
Holy shit, what an idiot.
Wow. So Scott was among 4 people accused of ransacking a woman's condo in Southeast Memphis and stealing $60,000 worth of items in July of 2021.
Oh, so he's a piece of shit. Okay, yeah.
Police said they
No
found
kidding.
Scott, the others in the other stolen items in the house next door to the victim. He was charged with aggravated robbery and theft, but the charges were later dropped. He's now currently being held on $260,000 bond.
This is why I don't use Tinder. I'm a grinder guy because I just trust the people out there. They seem like good people.
All right, Carl.
Oh, shit.
No shame in your game.
What's going to happen with that audio?
A Pennsylvania man who murdered his elderly mother and documented the killing has been sentenced to at least 20 years in prison, despite his own family wishing a harsher penalty.
Families always do.
Yeah, we'll find out today in the bonus episode that that's not always true. Families families a lot of times tend to side with pieces of shit.
Well, way to shit on my point then, Vinny. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to plug the show later and make you look dumb. David Sumney received the sentence on a single third-degree murder charge in connection to the death of his 67-year-old mother, Margaret Sumney. David was accused of torturing his mother before murdering her in the bathroom. Now, he documented the ordeal, taking 277 photos that included several selfies with blood on his face and Margaret's body.
Ah, the selfie stick killer, they call him. Yes.
What a fucking...
SSK. Watch out for SSK. He's got his selfie stick. He knows how to use it.
He did end up apologizing in court.
Good,
He
okay.
said, well, that's good, at least. You know, he says, I don't know what got into me, you guys.
By the way, I get this.
Social media is dangerous. I'm up here. I want to get the best pictures for my Insta.
Yeah, no, I get this.
Nobody else had any pictures with their dead mother up.
I guarantee this woman posted so many embarrassing pictures of him on Facebook that it was time for revenge. Because I've seen this. Even people in my family have to post every photo of their kids growing up, and a lot of them are embarrassing, and they don't need them on the internet. So this guy's just like, oh, yeah, Mom, you think it's funny? You think that was a really cute picture when I was getting toilet trained? I got a funny picture I can take, too.
I gotta go hang out with your parents one day. I gotta see what the scrapbook, the Hamburger family
could you
scrapbook looks like.
imagine?
Here's Carl and a papoose at the zoo.
Here's us playing putt-putt with Carl's feet.
Here's all of us running a marathon. And Carl sitting over there. Here's his prop picture. He's sitting sadly outside of the gymnasium.
His date didn't show up. We told him he had a date. we made up a name.
We put Cranton address. Sent him it. It's okay, little brother. I'll be your
You're having way too much fun with this. Do you need a minute? You want me to play some music or something?
Who's that old guy over there?
You need a second to recover on this one?
Hey, Carl.
Yeah, buddy.
I just want you to know.
Can I tell you something as a friend? No. Can I tell you something as a friend? Yeah. You're the shits. You really are.
It's just the worst. I cannot believe, he said, I would let myself get in such a state where I could do something so bad, so horrible. I cannot believe what I did, that I killed my own mother. I can't stop thinking about it. I think about it every day.
Well, I would hope so. The reason why he's in prison,
Because he sees the picture on his Instagram every time he opens it.
yeah. But if the reason why you weren't able to do the things you wanted to do, the thing that took away all of your freedom in life, you'd probably think about that every day. You know, when you're just like, why am I not doing what I want to be doing? Oh, that's right. Killing mom.
It's almost like jail is a punishment.
Yeah, that's all that time I killed mom. That's why I can't do what I want to do.
I like how
every day I think about those.
I like how his lawyer's like, he's expressed remorse.
Yeah.
Now, Ellen, David's half-sister, called the claims ridiculous. Prior to Margaret's murder, David was accused of torturing his ex-girlfriend at a hotel in New Jersey. He also allegedly
What was he playing her ween? You're going to love the Mollusk. Let's listen to it twice.
This is my friend Carl's Weezer cover band.
He thinks he's Rivers Cuomo. Watch out.
Kevin and his Weezer band. Can I get a really cool rock and roll concert t-shirt of Kevin and his Weezer band?
That's pretty funny.
I would like to see that. I'd like to see those photoshops. I also want to see the Laurel and Hardy photoshops.
That's funny too, yeah.
Prior to Margaret's murder, David was accused of torturing his ex-girlfriend, like I said. So this guy's got a fucking problem. He also attacked both of his parents in the past.
Mm-hmm.
David got sentenced to a minimum of 20 years and a maximum of 40 years in prison over the mother's death. Now, Margaret, the older sister, wished for David to have received the death penalty. Here's the quote from her. "You broke her back. You paralyzed our mother. And then you just beat her and beat her. The blood was splattered all along the walls. But I think the sickest part is the pictures. 277 pictures."
Well, it would have been more, but he didn't want to spring for the 256 gig iPhone. So he just ran out of storage space.
She makes a good point. You only take pictures if you want to go back and remember something and see what you did.
Or if you want to show off to your friends. Minnie, how many times do you take a photo just to show your friends all the cool shit you're up to?
All the
on
time.
Instagram, exactly.
All the time.
That's why you do it.
Now, his case is basically over in Pennsylvania, but he still has to go to Atlantic City, New Jersey over the alleged torture of his ex-girlfriend. So he's going to spend a long time in prison.
Not long enough, according to the family.
Yes. Carl?
Yes.
I got a fun story to finish up with.
You sure do, Vinny.
A 20-year-old man has been charged with an attempted murder of his sister with the intention of having sex with her corpse, the Israel police said on Sunday.
So I understand, like, parents will have two children very close together in age.
Yeah.
So they can be friends growing up.
Yeah.
Not friends with benefits.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
That's not how that works.
Well, it does work that way. Haven't you ever been on Pornhub? Isn't that pretty much all everything is now?
Good point.
Now, the 18-year-old victim was moderately injured in the stabbing following a police investigation. Her brother was arrested and charged with attempted murder. Now, the victim said that her brother, quote, entered my room at night, suddenly pulled out a knife and started to stab me in the head.
Or as he calls it, foreplay.
Oh! I ran out of the room.
Yeah. Oh, you're getting real wet now.
If not, he would have killed me. I don't know what happened to him. The woman said she was nearly murdered by the would-be necrophile. Police claimed that the motive for the attempted murder was the defendant's wish to have sex with his sister's corpse.
I will say that incestual necrophilia is definitely upping the ante with this one. That's impressive, my friend.
If you can't keep it in your pants, keep it in your dead sister, am I right? The defendant said in his interrogation that he is a fan of necrophilia, and that is why he planned to kill his sister.
Interrogation, you idiots!
This is all a big misunderstanding. You guys ever check out these necrophilia movies? I'm kind of an enthusiast.
Yeah,
okay.
But you don't say that. You say sleepwalking. Sleepwalking. You don't say, oh yeah, well I'm into like fucking dead people. So, idiots.
Well, the joke's on her. Because necrophilia is technically not a criminal offense in Israel.
And that's the way the news goes.
Due to his condition, he's been hospitalized at a psychiatric hospital since his arrest. And
if you think about it, there's no victim, right?
Well, she was stabbed in the head multiple times.
No, that's illegal in Israel. That part's illegal. But fucking a dead person is not, because there is no victim.
According to the High Court Justice, a ruling from 2018, a judge said that sexual offense can only be applicable when the victim is a living person.
Right, because what are you going to do, give him an STI? What do they care at that point?
Oh,
no, I have monkeypox. Yeah, but I also died 24 hours ago, so it's fine.
You know, this makes the antiquities world a little more interesting.
It does.
Just say it. In Israel. Go out there and fuck whatever you find in the desert. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was this week's episode. Don't forget to visit our website, thecreepoff.com, for all of your links. Patreon, Supercast, your links to vote, your links to subscribe on whatever platform you listen
Vote
to
on our
podcasts.
subreddit. I'll have a poll up later today.
Yep. And then also, for those of you just listening to the podcast, hey, watch us live on YouTube every Monday. We have a lot of fun doing that. So
1 p.m. Eastern time on Monday, sometimes a few minutes after that, as people point out.
that is accurate. Sometimes we're a couple minutes late.
Yeah. Because we get to do the shit whatever we want, assholes.
That's correct.
We made up the time. We can change it.
We made up this whole goddamn thing.
Yeah.
This whole thing's
No
to make
one
them up.
told me there was going to be boasting.
I love the people who are just like, oh, you guys are fucking late. Yeah, maybe at your job that matters. At our job, it does not. We can do it whatever the fuck we want. In fact, if I didn't show up today, whatever. But you and I still do a show together. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get written up for it. I'm not going to get a pig slip.
Yeah, the only thing he's going to get is me teasing him on the internet.
Which I get anyway, so who gives a shit?
It all evens out, folks.
It
So
does.
Remember, it is... It's nice to be important.
It's more important to be nice. WATPlive.com. Get your tickets for DabbleCon 23. It is going to be, there's 4 different events. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, man, it is going to be wild.
I can't wait.
The stuff that I've already been seeing we're putting together, very good. Good Gia. See you next time, folks.
What?
It's the Creep Off.
Let's all learn a lesson from this podcast. Don't do what we do, which
Ciao,
is a podcast.
Ciao, Bella.
May your enemies be cursed in your podcast adventures.
All right, Carl, you ready to read our super chats?
Yeah, that's right. The show's not over yet. What was I thinking?
Nope, we got one from Dark Dino Chris. He says, Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your turkey and crayon berries.
Thank you, Dark.
That's it. That's the end of our show.
Whoa, where are the super chats? What's going on over here?
People don't like us
Do
very
they
much.
not know it's Super Chat Monday?
Apparently
Did
not.
people not get the memo on that? We need to promote that more, I suppose.
Apparently.
All right. Well, thank you, Dark Dino.